You.
Good
Yeah.
morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Evening,
Welcome to
Professor.
Modern Marriage. As you all know, for the past few days, they could about ROE vs WADE. That's making a lot of headline this week. So as you can tell, they overturn it. That's mean that the woman, not all of the state have give them opportunity to give them the option to have abortion. Some state automatically make it as illegal, or a lot of women won't be able to do so as they please, and some other state will be able to you as it please and extend it. We don't know for how long it's gonna be, but it's gonna be half of the United States. So basically, this is gonna fight. So basically, a lot of people gonna fight about it. So a lot of women are angry about it. A lot of people are happy about it. So today we're gonna do part one. The part one we're gonna talk about the woman side, if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Since there's an article say the woman is gonna be bad for women in the long term. But here's the idea: back in the day, from the beginning of time before War and Wave, a lot of kids was born, but not a lot of kids was born out of wedlock. So there's less baby mamas, and on top of that there was a lot of war going on, so people need to have a lot of kids in order to protect the country, because they know their kids gonna be on the future. Their kids gonna be able to protect them. Their kids gonna be fight war for them. Their kids gonna be able to provide for them. And there's not enough job back in the day, like industrial job and stuff like that. But their kids were trained to be warrior, to be soldier, and to fight on the battlefield. Even they don't fight this, they have to serve on the battlefield, like injuries, like water and food. So basically, that's what happened, and that's why a lot of women were proud to have a lot of kids, even though sometimes they have kids out of wedlock. That's still going on today, but today is out of proportion. But this generation, 21st century, they don't really care about that. They just want to have their cake and eat it too. That's the reason why there's so many women abuse the situation. For example, we got kids from 10 years or 12 years old are doing abortion, which is sad, because at this point the kids is just trying to be reckless, and at this point also the kids try to get away with murder. I can say it, because on the part, this is according to the law, you should be punished because you kill your own womb. But hey, I'm just saying. So but a lot of women say the only reason they, like I say, a lot of women do that. This is about the R word, but you all know, like, most women do not get the RAP word. Most women do it willingly, either by one night stand, either by the boyfriend didn't like, either by something, a fling, or whatever the situation is. They all have the reason. But the part about the woman's side is that even though they do that, they feel good about themselves, that they don't have to deal with that. But the thing is, their conscience is always there, because now they have to think about it. After 5 years, 20 years, they have to remember that they went to the clinic and then they went to do that. And then even though they pretend everything is fine, but it's not, because they know that they did something wrong, and it doesn't feel like right, and their heart is pounding when they see somebody that has a kid, or somebody that's has a grandkid or grandkids. So they feel like they miss out of life, which is part of life, if it was to procreate and then to have kids and then to live on in generation to generation. And this is when you go to a clinic and the abortion, you stop your lineage, you stop your gene in that point. So your generation, you kill your next generation. So basically, which is kind of hard, because back in the day, your ancestor, this is what they fight for, to keep your generation alive, to keep their seed alive, so they can procreate, they can conquer, and then they can have more things for the family. So basically, when you kill that, stop that bondage, that lineage, your family, your lineage stop, and then it cannot be even further from history, and then your go instinct. And especially if you die suddenly and then you didn't get a chance to get married or to have another kid, so that's gonna be an issue. And the second part is that most women choose their career over a relationship. So if they have a kid, they feel like they cannot drag the kids, drag them around or slow the process, so they have to go to abortion, so basically to pursue their dream. And then on top of that, after they finish realizing their dream, their career, now they want to have a family. But at that time, there is that clock is always close by, and then it's gonna be very hard for them to get pregnant. And also, if they do, they cannot produce as much as they want, sometimes one, sometimes two. And then another for them, if that they don't want to go to that process, they want to adapt and then spend money. But in reality, you can have your own. And most of women know that, especially on their bed, they realize they made a mistake to do so. And then they always talk about before the deathbed, they be like, or when they go to a doctor when they get older, they feel like, oh, my family is supposed to be bigger than that, and it's supposed to be like 5 people instead of 3, 2 people instead of 1, because I went to the clinic. But they're not gonna tell you. But some of them also, when they go to pray, they pray about that for forgiveness. And some of them also, they bring them to the grave, which is kind of sad, and nobody will know. For the women's side, this is gonna be difficult in a way. Yes, gonna be difficult. Now women has to be more careful about who they allow to have their intercourse with, and then how they're gonna protect themselves, because now they can have no slippery, they can have no mistake, and then they can have everything has to plan out. And the only thing that's matter is the ARP. And then do you have to, if they have a case, you got to prove it. That's another story. But the thing is, most of women are doing willingly just because they don't feel like they need a kid. And then I always tell people, if you don't want to have a kid, don't have intercourse, because the consequence of that is a kid, because that's the product of your product of your relationship, of your love, or whatever it's called these days, or your situationship. Send it to reproduce. That's the part of the woman that's gonna be sad. And top of that, now since there's a lot less job, so woman has to go to take the labor force, and they have a kids into. So basically, that's the first part of the woman. They have to talk about the babysitting. They have to talk about family member now knows that if you are pregnant, they're gonna find out. You cannot hide it from society no more. And some of this that's disqualified it. And a lot of people, your girlfriend, your family member, your classmate, they're gonna find out you're being having fun. And on top of that, the summer girl is not appropriate no more. Less women gonna have summer fun right now. So basically, because out there they feel frustrating, and a lot of women now, in order to tackle that, they say they're not gonna have intercourse, which is a lie, because after midnight or 2 in the morning, and if they want to body get joint, they're gonna think about it. That's human nature winning that has stuff really stress. So women has a lot to think about it now, since it's been back in the day, back in your grandma usually think about it, and then they protect their seed. That's why your grandma and your grandpa always have 10 kids, 12 kids, because they don't have those things to prevent them from having a lot of kids. And back in the day, there was no cable, there was no anything, just to sit down and have fun. All they gotta do is send the kids to bed early, and then do what you gotta do, and the next thing you know, boom, they have another kids. Next thing you know, boom, they have a lot of kids. This is the part that's frightening modern society right now, because they don't want to have a lot of kids, because they think their grandparents, they were a burden for their great parents, because they were like, they didn't have their own room, they didn't have their own clothes, they don't have their own stuff, so they have to share with a sibling. So they feel like in order for them to tackle it, they have to have 1 or 2 kids. But your great parents don't think about it. They want that to protect their seed, because they feel like if such and such, you have 3 kids, one of them died, at least 2. If 2 of them, I got one last one. If one of them gets sick, at least I can count to one of them to take care of me. But once that generation have 1 kid, and that kid pass away, your lineage is cut up, and then that parents is unbearable, on his own consolable, because that parent lose a lot of things. And then this is the saddest part. And then if you have 3, 5 kids, if one of them die early, you got the other ones that can comfort you, that can cherish you, that can strengthen you. But if you have 1 kid and that person is gone, you are on deep for the whole rest of your life, especially if you have 70 or 40 and then you cannot have kids. This is the saddest part. And that was my video. If you like my video, subscribe and share, and I'll see you next one.
What is your profession?